Hello everyone, my name is Naija Sprinkle. The lesson that I created was a small group lesson for the My Five Senses unit. The name of the lesson is called Apple Tasting. According to the textbook on page 318, a small group is done for two reasons. One, to provide an opportunity for more focused attention and individualized instruction from the teacher. And two, to give the children the opportunity to interact and learn from peers and also engage in hands-on experiences. The lesson I created is for a pre-K general ed classroom. Now, have you ever been in a general ed classroom with children who have not been placed in the right setting yet? If so, then you know you must plan for those children to be able to do the same activity in a way that suits them. The lesson's objective is for children to identify the colors of different apples, share their opinion about the taste, and choose which one is their favorite. We use the I can statement in our learning objective in my current school, so you will be able to see that in my lesson plan. Before facilitating my small group activity, I would have constructed a whole group activity earlier that day where I read the book My Five Senses by Aliki. However, to get them ready for my small group activity, I would have hooked them in by sitting them in the meeting area to watch Jack Hartman's video, I Have Five Senses. Once that video was over, I would send them off to centers. At this point, I would call 4 to 6 children to do a small group activity and have them do the apple tasting. While in the group, I would tell them that they will be using all 5 senses to have fun eating apples. I will then take out 4 to 6 plates of red, green, and yellow apples and put them in front of each child. I will identify each apple to the children by telling them what each color is. I will then show them the worksheet and tell them that they will be filling out the worksheet first with their name on top with a pencil, and then together we will work to color each apple the correct color. If I notice a child using the wrong color on the wrong apple, I will ask them, are you sure you're using the right color? Then I will let them figure out what they need to do. However, if they get stuck, I will help them while taking a mental note that maybe they need to work on their colors. After that, I will explain that we will use the red apple first and examine it using our 5 senses. I will ask the children to put the red apple near their ear and tell me if they hear anything. If they can hear something, I want to know what they hear. Then I will ask them to look at the red apple and tell me what they see. After that, I will ask them to move on to their nose. I will then ask them to use their nose to tell me what they smell. During this part, children may put their nose on the apple, and you will need to tell them that their nose should not touch the apple. Now have them describe what the apple smells like. Next, tell the children to feel on the apple. Then ask them how it feels. Some may say hard, smooth, rough, bumpy, which may be true. Explain to them that not all apples feel the same. Some may have fallen and some may have not, but that is okay. Next, I will tell them I need them to get their taste buds ready because now they would get a chance to taste the red apple. Now remember, the red, yellow, and green apples should be pre-cut so that we take safety precautions when working with children. Now give each child one piece of the red apple to taste, and then ask them to tell you how the apple tastes. Once they have explained the apple's taste, refer them to the worksheet. Point to the red apple and ask them to color in the face of the apple, of how the apple makes them feel. The smiley face means they like the apple, and the sad face means they don't like the apple. If someone messes up and colors the wrong apple, it's okay. Allow them to correct them. Yet, if they can't and ask for help, tell them that it is okay and show them that they can just put an X to cross it out and color the next one. After they have decided whether they like or dislike the red apple, you can move on and repeat these same steps and questions for the green and yellow apple. If there is a child in your class who is allergic to apples, you can try switching them out for different oranges. But if that doesn't work, try modifying the activity and allowing the child to utilize 4 of their senses instead of 5 to determine which apple they think would be best so that they can still participate in the activity. After the children have finished marking whether they like or dislike the apples, there is a sentence at the bottom that they need to do. They need to choose out of all 3 apples which apple was their favorite, then color that apple. Once they have decided on their favorite apple, give them each a Post-it with their name on it to put on the graph chart above the apple that they chose. To challenge some students, I will have them go the extra mile and introduce them to the prompt sentence chart I created. On this chart, the children can fill in their name on the first line and choose their favorite apple from the top and write the color in on the second line. For example, Kaylee likes the green apple. Some people may feel this chart is too advanced. However, I have worked in pre-K before, and I have seen at least 2 to 3 children who have come into pre-K knowing how to read and write their names. Some even know how to transfer words from one paper to another. So things like this are not unrealistic. After everyone in my small group is done, I will thank them and send them off to centers while I call my next small group. Remember, a small group doesn't have to be done simultaneously. In pre-K, the schedule is flexible, where you can do something else and then come back to the small group after doing something in between. However, choosing to do it simultaneously is up to you as a teacher. Finally, when all the children have completed the small group, you can bring them back together as a whole group to read the apple chart that they created. On page 313, under Creating Graphic Representation, the book states that it is powerful to use a representation to engage children in creating their own representation, which they did. Then on page 317, it states that a whole group is a time to build a sense of community and share purpose, which they are going to do by discussing the chart. By using the apple graph chart, you get to incorporate math by counting how many children liked red apples, how many liked green apples, and how many liked yellow apples. Then by doing that, you can conclude that most of the children in the class either liked red, green, or yellow apples. As you can see, most of the children liked the red apple on my hypothetical chart. My lesson's rationale is to get the children to identify different colors, give their opinion on the taste of the different colors, and choose which apple was their favorite. During this lesson, the children got to work on literacy, science, and math, all in one, while having fun. In this lesson, I use research-based approaches, such as presenting new material in small steps with children practicing those steps after, guiding students' practice, and checking for understanding through questions and classwork. Most of the assessments were done informally by observing what each child was doing while I was working with them in a small group. However, I still conducted a formal assessment using a rubric to support whether the child could meet the learning targets. Thank you. For more details, please check out my lesson plan attached, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Bye!